I have something that's pretty funny, but also interesting here for you. So yesterday I got into a Twitter war with MSNBC contributor and GOP strategist Steve Schmidt. Now, Steve Schmidt, we just covered this in the previous segment. Steve Schmidt said that Justice Democrats and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that they represent dishonest progressivism. He also compared Alexandria to Donald Trump. See, this is the, both sidism that is just so corrupt and so wrong. And they don't know what to do. They're elites. They're comfy. Steve Schmidt and all of his buddies, the social circles he run in, they think the status quo is great. So when Trump came along and he did some populist rhetoric, admittedly, he was like, ooh, that's extreme. Now, did he have anything to say about the actual extreme parts of Donald Trump's message? Like, killing civilians on purpose in the Middle East? No. Torture? No. To Steve Schmidt, it's the tone he uses, the fact that he does mean tweets, the fact that he did some populist rhetoric. That's what's inexcusable about Trump. And then Justice Democrats come along, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez comes along, knocks off Joe Crowley. He looks at the fact that she pushes for Medicare for all, free college, a living wage, ending the wars, a New Deal, ending the drug war. He looks at that and he thinks this is the equal and opposite of Trump. This is just as extreme and bad. Except, no, that's what the American people want. But he's so caught up in his elitist bubble, he can't see straight. So, he does this segment where he says this is dishonest progressivism, and he compares Justice Democrats and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Donald Trump. I saw that and I lost it. I wasn't having it. So I said this. Sniveling little weasel Steve Schmidt thinks that fighting for Medicare for all, free college, living wage, end to the wars and drug war is equal to bombing 8 countries, ripping families apart, and torturing people because he's a world-class idiot. And that, as you can see, that was in response to the story that Raw Story put out there, which is Steve Schmidt saying that it's dishonest progressivism and Justice Democrats are like Trump. Then I said, the man who brought us Sarah Palin, because that's what Steve Schmidt is most known for, is now lecturing us about what the country needs. Go take a hike, dipshit. You aren't qualified to manage an Arby's. No disrespect to wonderful Arby's employees. Well, I triggered little Stevie boy, and he made the terrible, terrible mistake of responding to me. So he said, you make Trump possible. Look in the mirror. You see Trump staring back? And I said, hey, Steve, here's me in 2015 ripping Trump to shreds when he called for killing civilians on purpose in the Middle East. Terrorism. Where's your statement on this, you sad hack? Or did you just decide to leave the GOP last week like the tool you are? I continued. I make Trump possible. I fight against him daily. You're literally a GOP strategist. You recently left the party, so now you think you're some hero? Why didn't you leave during the illegal Iraq war? Torture by Bush, unconstitutional NSA spying. You're a sad hack, and you know it. And then finally I said, Steve thinks fighting for Medicare for all, free college, a living wage, ending the wars, and ending the drug war means I support Trump, when in reality it's the only path for the Democrats to defeat Trump. Is he just ignorant or massively stupid? I can't figure out which. At this point, my followers on Twitter proceeded to harp away on the loser dumbass that is Steve Schmidt, who doesn't know anything about politics. And then Steve Schmidt even got into it with Cenk Uygur on Twitter. So he was fighting off various progressive hosts. And I thought I'd share this with you because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they have no response to a Justice Democrat like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because she's fighting for what the people want. and policies that we know work from the experiments in Scandinavia. So there's no logical rebuttal to what she's doing and what we're doing. Since there's no logical rebuttal, what do? Smear. Smear. Oh, she's like Trump. It's dishonest progressivism. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi aren't dishonest, even though they pretend to be progressive, and then they get elected and they're neoliberal corporate hack warmongers. So it's just, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He's an elite pundit. He's representing the elites. And now he thinks like, oh, I've now officially left the Republican Party because of Trump, so aren't I so moral and just? Like I said, why didn't you leave under Bush when he did an illegal war that killed minimum 200,000 people? Or did torture? Or did NSA spying on everybody? It wasn't that hard to do the logical deduction here and figure out this party's extreme back then, but now you leave it now and I'm supposed to be like, oh, what a hero. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's better than not leaving it, but it's obviously not about the actual shitty policies because you back the shitty policies. It's more about his mean tweets, Donald Trump, for example. So he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's a joke. And he shouldn't even be in politics because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And it's comically easy to see. I mean, I could see through this guy from a mile away. He just picked the wrong career path, and he doesn't really care about what he's doing, and he just reflexively backs the establishment and the elite. And he should be exposed for the sad loser he is.